Hey, it's Wynter, and this is... Hey, it's Wynter, and this is TrueCherishment15.
Is this the low, or is this the high?
Today's topic is being a good friend. So, I don't know why I did that. So what does that mean? So being a good friend to yourself, I think that means supporting yourself and supporting and I can say this word, encouraging yourself. That was rough. Trying to understand yourself, understand what you need more than what you want. Being able to give yourself constructive criticism, reflect on your actions and who you are, and press yourself to be a better person. I think the easiest way to do this, because there's many ways you can do this, is to reflect on yourself. I look up to think, so I'm just look at my neck, filming my neck. So I'll try to look more into the camera. So yeah, I think encouraging yourself, really looking at what you need, and reflecting on who you are, and yeah, basically that. That's how you, that's what it means to be a good friend. I think being a good friend to yourself is being able to look at yourself in the way that you want to be perceived, in the way that you actually are being perceived. Like, wanting to better yourself. Oh, my hair is just not... Oh my gosh, you didn't make the bed. I have visitors coming, in 2 hours. And, I have to... Oh my god! Sorry. Whenever I get really mad, I put on my man voice. That was only halfway. My dad didn't put the TV back, so I don't know what they're gonna do. They can't sleep without a TV. Did I say country when I said that? I feel like I sound really country at the end of that. Anyway. I have to make the bed. Why is it out? I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I need to focus. Oh my god. That was so ugly. Oh my god, I'm messing up my eyebrows like they weren't. Okay, I'm finished. You know I have to have outline, so I don't know why you're still oh my god, why is she looking now? That's so sloppy. You know I have to have an outline. My memory is question mark. I know if I study these for a day straight, then yeah, or throughout the day, I could get them packed down. I wouldn't have to look at them. But no. Oh, he's so sad too. Okay, sorry. What are some key traits to being a good friend to yourself? Oh, well, I kind of touched on that in the last one. Key traits to being a good friend to yourself. Encouraging yourself to actually be yourself. It's people say be yourself, and I'm okay, yeah, be yourself. But it's really hard sometimes, because I know I'm silly. I know sometimes what I see as funny, other people don't see as funny. I know sometimes when I'm telling someone I think is really awesome, they really don't care. And because I know that not everyone is going to care or be like that, it makes it harder for me to express myself. I said that weird. And feel comfortable expressing myself. So I think a key trait is sometimes you really don't have anyone to talk to but God and yourself. And sometimes, I don't know why we do this. Sometimes we don't want to talk to God. Either we feel too guilty or feel like he doesn't care, he's not listening. Either way, you at least have yourself to talk to if no one else. So, a key trait to being a good friend to yourself, have courage in yourself. Be yourself. Yeah, optimism. Like, always look at the bright side and love yourself. What's the hardest part of being a good friend to yourself? I don't know. Lately, for me, it's been... See, I just look up, like, and you just look at a neck shot. Look at my nice neck. I don't know. Actually talking to yourself. I feel like that's hard shit. Not only do most people be like, oh my god, talk to yourself, that's so weird. But sometimes it's hard because there's always a voice in your head telling you, oh, that's not a good idea, that's not a good idea. You know what's going to happen if you do that. And then you end up doing it anyway. And you end up in a bad situation. And you're like, I should have listened. And then I was going somewhere, but then I lost it. I'll find it. Anyway. And then you like want to talk about it because you're in this awful situation and you feel lost and you're alone and you're scared or whatnot. And you don't want to tell anyone else about it because it's a situation that's kind of personal. And so you want to talk to yourself about it, but yet your inner self warned you not to do. I think I have some kind of like disorder. I don't pay attention very well. Anyway, you want to talk to yourself about it, but then at the same time, like, yourself was like, you shouldn't have done it. So you kind of feel awkward talking to yourself about it. So I think the hardest part of being a good friend is talking to yourself and talking situations out. Or hearing, not necessarily the negative, but the traits you can improve on. I don't know. Sometimes you just have to be more aware of yourself. So I feel like the hardest part is actually reflecting on yourself, because you're not really aware of how the other person feels. Like if you're talking to someone or you're engaging with someone, interacting, my ears itching, and you say something, you might think that's not offensive, but they might take it offensively. So I think the hardest part is being able to reflect on yourself and how that affects you, and also how that affects others. Some of this video is gonna be cut out. It was so cute. Sorry. Anyway, is it easier to resolve? Why don't I resolve? Resolve internal or external conflict? I don't know. I feel like today, from my experience, my peers, we're not really confrontational. We don't like to confront people when we have a problem. We rather type it behind a keyboard or screen. Type it on a keyboard behind a screen. Or get someone else to kind of talk to it, or talk to that person, or whatever the problem is, or kind of blow it off, even if it does really bother us, or if we'll try to give physical signs that we don't like that person, I don't feel like we're actually gonna go up to that person and be like, I don't like you and I'm not hanging out with you anymore because you did this and this and this and this and this and it made me feel blah 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 blah. So that's why I'm not talking to you. And I feel like even if we did do that now, people will be like, so whatever, this means nothing to me. And if you did want to be friends with that person still and you told them this, I feel like sometimes they laugh. So I don't know, I feel like that's kind of how external conflict will go, but internal, you have to find time in a quiet place in the right time. Sometimes you just go blank and you don't know how you feel. You can't express how you feel even to yourself. And find that quiet place. Then you never get that internal, or is it eternal? It's internal. Internal conflict solved. So you're just like, no one else knows. And then sometimes you can talk to someone. Like if you have a really, really close best friend or anyone in your life that is extremely close to you and knows most of your secrets and has kept them and has always been there for you, then sometimes you can tell them and it helps get that internal conflict out. Sometimes it's just that you need to talk to yourself about it and work it out because it's about the person that you're really close to. So as far as which one's easier, it's internal because it's pretty much dealing with just you. I know that if you're having internal conflict, it can also affect those around you, but mostly it's just you. Whereas external conflict, it automatically deals with someone else, and you have to not only take account of what they might say because of what you're planning to say and how that might hurt you, but what you say and how that might hurt them. So you have to take like two perspectives into account to actually be effective, to actually get your message effectively across. So why is it important to be a good friend to yourself? I mean, if you're not a good friend to yourself, you're not only gonna have trouble probably expressing yourself, but I mean, you won't have a good sense of yourself. You won't know how to really treat others. You won't have those deep and eye-opening moments as often as you should, to the point where it makes you a better person in reality. Like, sure, you might have that aha moment in math class or whatnot, but like in real life, what about handling breakups or confronting people? You don't have that, I have the key now, this is how I should confront those situations. If you're not a good friend to yourself, it can affect your health, and it can also affect those around you if you're not being a good friend to yourself. So I find it very important to be a good friend to yourself. I think lately that's why I've been kind of wonky. It's because I didn't have a good sense of myself and who I was, and I'm starting to get that back, and I noticed that I'm happier. I've noticed that I like how it feels. Being happy, it feels really good. Whoop, there it is. Okay, sorry. That was ugly. I think that's all I have for this video. I hope I covered those questions all right-ish. But like I said, I just woke up and I have a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it, and I'm home. Oh my god, no, it's 9:48. Oh no! Okay. I'm so I'm scared. Oh my god, that scared me so bad. Oh my But remember, each day is a gift. So, love you. Bye. That garage scared me.